Cybersecurity can feel like this huge, intimidating topic. So instead of starting with a bunch of technical jargon, let's start with a story. A story that, honestly, could happen to any one of us.
Okay, so meet Anne. She's a big-time online shopper. Probably a lot like you, right? She trusts the sites she uses, she's got her details saved to make checkout super fast. But that convenience, well, it's about to become a total nightmare.
So picture this. Anne's just going about her day, maybe on her lunch break, clearing out her inbox, when an email catches her eye. It looks like it's from her absolute favorite online store, and it's promising a pretty sweet deal.
And here's how slick the trap is. The email, it looks 100% legit. It's got the store's logo, the right colors, everything to make her feel safe. It offers a special discount, which creates this little sense of urgency, To get it, all she has to do is click a link and verify her account credentials. It seems like a totally normal security step, but literally moments after she types in her info, poof, her bank account is drained.
So what just happened? How did a simple email cause so much chaos? What was that one critical mistake? Let's peel back the layers and see how this attack actually worked.
Anne's story is the perfect, if painful, example of why this all matters so much. And to really understand how she could have protected herself, we first have to put a name to what she just went through.
What Anne experienced is what we call a cyber attack. It's basically any attempt by an outsider, a hacker, to get into your digital world where they don't belong. In her case, they got into a shopping account, and from there, into her financial information.
And the answer to this problem? Well, that's cybersecurity. And look, it's not just one single thing. It's a whole collection of tools and best practices designed to build a kind of digital fortress around your networks, your data, and your computer systems. It's the shield that protects you from exactly these kinds of attacks.
All right, so now that we've got the basic terms down, it's really important to get this. The attack Anne fell for is just one of many, many threats that are lurking out there online. The digital world has a whole rogues gallery of dangers.
Here are just a few of the usual suspects. First, you've got phishing. That's the sneaky email trick that got Anne. Then there's malware, which is nasty software you might accidentally download. You've also got something called a man-in-the-middle attack, where a hacker is basically eavesdropping on your connection. And of course, the classic password attack, where they just try to guess or force their way into your accounts.
Let's dive a little deeper into one of the more complex ones. Imagine you're at a coffee shop using their free public Wi-Fi. A hacker on that same network can wedge themselves right between you and the internet, kind of like a spy listening in on your private phone call. They can even steal your device's digital address, its IP address, and basically hijack your entire connection. Suddenly, everything you thought was private is out in the open.
Okay, that's enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about solutions. Because after what happened, Anne didn't just get upset. She got smart. She started building her own digital fortress, and guess what? You can too. The very first line of defense she put up was a firewall. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Think of it like a digital bouncer at the door of your computer, standing between you and the wild, unpredictable internet. It inspects all the data trying to get in or out, and if anything looks shady, it gets blocked. Simple as that.
Now, for a really clever defensive move, honeypots. And yeah, they're exactly what they sound like, an irresistible trap. Companies will set up these fake computer systems that are designed to look super vulnerable. Why? To attract hackers. This way they can watch what the attackers do, learn their methods, and most importantly, keep them distracted and far, far away from the real data, like Anne's.
So here's the big takeaway for you, right now. This is Anne's new security checklist, and it should probably be yours too. First up, get a firewall. Second, use good antivirus software. Third, and this is a big one, create unique, strong passwords. Mix up those letters, numbers, and symbols. And finally, just be skeptical of emails from people you don't know, even if they look official.
So far, we've really been focused on how an attack hits someone like Anne, but what about that company she was shopping with? The threats they're up against are similar, yeah, but the scale and the potential damage are on a whole different level.
Look, for you or me, a cyber attack is a financial headache and a huge personal violation. But for a big organization, it can be an absolute catastrophe. We're talking massive data breaches, financial ruin, and a total collapse of customer trust. And here are some of the heavy weapons in the corporate cyber war. A DDoS attack? That's like creating a digital traffic jam so massive that it crashes a company's website. An advanced persistent threat, or APT, is like having a silent spy inside your network for months or even years, just slowly siphoning off data. And an SQL injection directly targets a company's database, letting hackers view, change, or just delete everything.
With all of these threats getting bigger and scarier, a new kind of hero has stepped onto the scene. So let's talk about the people who are actually fighting back, the professionals who are right there on the front lines of this digital battlefield.
And let me tell you, the need for these professionals is absolutely exploding. In fact, experts are predicting that the number of cyber attacks is going to quadruple in the near future. That means the demand for skilled people to defend against them is higher than it has ever been. So, who are these defenders? Well, you have ethical hackers. These are the good guys who get paid to break into systems to find the weaknesses before the bad guys do. You have security architects, the people who actually design and build those digital fortresses. And at the very top, you have the Chief Information Security Officer, the CISO, who is basically the general in charge of an entire organization's security strategy. The bottom line here is all about opportunity. This isn't just about playing defense anymore. It's a fast-growing, rewarding, and incredibly important career for anyone who wants to make a real difference in our digital world.
And that brings us to one last question for you. Think about it. From our shopping and our banking to our friendships and our work, so much of our life is digital. We've seen just how fragile that can make us, but we've also seen how we can fight back. The most important thing to remember is this: as your digital life keeps expanding, your defense has to expand right along with it. The real question is it?